Have you seen the movie The Exorcist? The head spinning, the levitating bed, the bone-chilling voice. It's considered one of the scariest films of all time. But what if I told you the most terrifying part is that it was inspired by a true story? This is the case of a 30-year-old boy from Maryland whose real name has been protected, but who history knows only as Roland Doe. And his nightmare began in 1949, not on a movie set, but in his own bedroom. It started subtly. After the death of his beloved aunt, strange things began to happen in Roland's home. At night, the family would hear scratching sounds coming from inside the walls, like nails dragging across plaster. His parents thought it was mice, but no traps or repairs could stop it. Then, the sounds got personal. Roland would suddenly freeze, looking over his shoulder as if someone had whispered his name. No one else ever heard a thing. Soon, the whispers became screams. One night, his parents found him standing rigid on his mattress, his back arched, screaming in his sleep. As they watched in horror, the heavy mattress lurched and slid across the floor, with no one touching it. That's when they knew something was in their house. And it wanted their son. The activity escalated. Books flew off shelves. Chairs trembled. A cold so intense settled in Roland's room that you could see your breath. Desperate, his parents took him to doctors, but every test came back normal. They said it was psychological, a reaction to grief. But then, one night, his mother found bright red scratches etched across his chest, like angry claw marks. When she asked who did it, Roland's head tilted at an unnatural angle. A strange, cold smile spread across his face, and in a voice that wasn't his, he said, "You'll meet him soon." Terrified, the family turned to the church. Father Edward Hughes was a man of faith, but not superstition. He had heard many stories of possession, and believed most were just misunderstandings. He agreed to visit the family, mostly out of pity. He walked into Roland's room and found a quiet boy sitting on his bed. Nothing seemed out of place, but as he got closer, a foul smell, like sulfur and burnt wood, filled the air. The priest gently asked Roland if he was unwell. The boy's head snapped up, his eyes locking onto the priest. They were no longer the eyes of a child. They were filled with an ancient hatred. And in a deep, guttural voice that rattled the windows, he growled, "Leave." Suddenly, the bed slammed against the wall. A lamp exploded in red. Welting letters started to form under the skin on Roland's leg. They spelled out a single word: "Go." For the first time in his career, Father Hughes was truly afraid. The battle for Roland's soul had begun. The exorcism was moved to a hospital chapel and lasted for weeks. Each night was a new level of horror. Roland would speak in ancient languages he'd never learned. Objects would fly across the room. He would levitate off the bed, straining against the ropes that held him down. The hospital staff grew so terrified they refused to even walk past the chapel door. During one session, as Father Hughes began the prayers, Roland's body arched, and a voice thundered through the room. "He belongs to me." The bedframe cracked, smashing against the priest's legs, but he didn't stop praying. The final night came with a raging thunderstorm. The room was heavy with a dreadful silence. As Father Hughes approached the bed, Roland's eyes shot open. "He is here," he roared. The candles blew out, plunging the room into darkness. A flash of lightning revealed Roland's body contorting into impossible shapes. The priest prayed louder, his voice shaking. "I will never leave," the voice boomed. But then, through the rage, a tiny, weak voice, Roland's voice, cried out, "Help me, please." Fueled by this, Father Hughes shouted, "Release him." A massive clap of thunder shook the hospital. The room filled with a blinding white light, and Roland let out one final scream of torment. Then, silence. The candles flickered back to life. Roland collapsed, his body finally relaxed. He opened his eyes, his own eyes, and whispered, "It's gone." Roland Doe recovered. He would never fully remember the ordeal, and his family moved away to start over. Father Hughes, however, was forever changed by what he witnessed. He never spoke of it publicly, but those who knew him said a part of him was left behind in that room. The story of Roland Doe is a chilling reminder that sometimes the horrors we see on screen are born from real-life nightmares. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as chilling as I did, make sure to like and subscribe for more dives into the unexplained.